Just to begin with then, what is the interest of Whitbread in climate change?
Well, we have two major divisions, hotels and restaurants, and a global coffee brand called Costa. And in our hotels and restaurants, we have particular interest in the carbon intensity and the energy footprint within those businesses, a very, very heavy footprint. And also through the supply chain, which also includes coffee, we're looking to secure supply of the future and also accredit it appropriately.
And I'll start with the coffee and the Costa restaurants. There's been a lot of publicity recently about the impacts of climate change on coffee. How is that affecting you?
Well, it's affecting us a lot in that, our primary objective is to do two things. One, to secure the supply that we've got for the long term, and secondly, to accredit it as well as we possibly can. So all of our coffee in the UK, for example, is Rainforest Alliance. And we're working on making that happen across the world as we can achieve that. But also, what we're also doing is looking to work with the coffee communities. So we have something called the Costa Foundation, and therefore what we're doing is we're reinvesting in the communities and building schools to drive the education of the future coffee growers of the future.
And how are your communities being impacted by kind of weather and climate change?
Well, as you can imagine, with global coffee sourcing, there are issues all around the globe. So, what we work with our suppliers to do is just to make sure that we've got a medium and long-term ranging view on how we can secure that coffee supply and make sure that we invest in the communities as well as possible.
And how much of a priority is this for your organisation? You'd presume that if you're working in coffee, then it's going to be a massive focus. Is it something that you think is going to get more and more serious?
Yeah, Whitbread's a company that's been around for 260 years, and it's not just the coffee. The energy intensity, as I say, of our business is a primary concern for us. And essentially, this is a part of being a legendary company, and we believe that we are a legendary company and will continue to be so, and therefore setting the tone in the industries in which we operate is really important to us, and we want to set the bar very high.
And just moving on to the energy intensity then, hotels have a big energy footprint. How are you working to reduce that, and how much scope is there for reducing it?
Well, there's two things you can do. Firstly, you can make the building perform better, and secondly, you can influence the consumers that use it. So in terms of building the buildings, we opened two of the greenest hotels in the UK, where we use all sorts of technology like ground source heat pumps, photovoltaic, solar panelling, grey water systems, and all of those kind of things to reduce the footprint, the energy footprint of that particular building. In fact, in those hotels, we've reduced the energy footprint by 80%, so hugely successful. And we'll continue to invest in that in our core business as well as the new hotels that we build and restaurants. And the second thing is just to talk to the consumers, which is a journey we've just started really, to try and engage them in the art of being a less energy intensive consumer, and we can do things like making sure that we've got systems which switch off the lights and the cooling in the rooms when they're not there, but actually we'd like our guests to join us as a partner and really drive down the energy usage while they stay within our business.
And why is this important to your business? What's your motivation?
Well, long term, obviously, our shareholders, we're a public company and we're invested in by a lot of long-term funds. We believe the shareholder investor community is interested in this. We think that this will give us a standout in the marketplace going forwards. And it's just the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to do. And on that basis, we're spending a lot of time and effort. In fact, only a couple of weeks ago, I was with the top 100 executives for Whitbread across the world with the chief executive who was pushing, this is a leadership position and this is something that we need to be good at.
And we're at a conference on health, security and climate change. What's the intersection there that's relevant to Whitbread?
Health is important to us, so we have people who come and eat with us. We have millions of customers every week. We are starting to feel our way through the complexities of diet, nutrition, long-term health and social factors. And on that basis, we're taking wide and varied reference points. And the British Medical Association is about the best informed as it can be in terms of, social trends on health and dietary conditions going forwards.
What's your takeaway from the conference today, do you think?
Well, it's interesting. It's another perspective. The the lack of, I think, cohesion really is again stark. It's not new, it's just a different field, and I think there's pockets of activism, and the sooner we get those pockets of activism joined up and we start to really move the landscape, then I think that would be a really good place to be.
Thanks very much for joining us. It's been really interesting to talk to you.